Hey guys, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. I wasn't going to do a video on this one, I'm still at Staten Island, but it was probably the best one I've done here so far. So I'm just going to show you what the problem was, what I went through. I've been here for 5 hours now. Alright, I got to the bottom of this. This is like their last resort. This is awesome. So, 2012 Volkswagen Jetta. It had some body work done. So this is a new door, repainted, and when they put everything back together, they noticed that this thing, lock and unlock switch, didn't work, okay? And also, there's another switch for the, let's see, this guy. There's a little button for the trunk release. Oh, let's see, I don't remember where I put it. But anyways, it goes here. So that didn't work either. And then, let's see what else. It had one code stored in the central electronics module for, well, I wrote it down right here. It was a 3301 response closing status of driver's door, and a 1365 lock unlock switch interior. Alright, so that kind of matches the symptoms. Now this, they just put in just the metal here. They swapped everything else over, the window, the harness, all the switches, the speaker, and they had this problem. So first thing he did, he called Keith. He didn't have much time. He did a quick inspection on it, did some wiring checks, and saw that this purple wire on the trunk release was basically a ground, and it's a pull down switch. So he thought it was wiring damage somewhere, when this door got hit. And then I think he did a continuity check, but anyways, kind of left it at that. And then he gave it to me since we're still running behind, even working solo on different cars here. But the issue. So, I mean, I can't really talk you through 5 hours of diagnostics here, but just briefly, what I had to do, since Volkswagen diagrams leave something to be desired. None of the wiring colors matched, or some of them did, some of them didn't. I had to trace wires going for the door switches, through the harness, through this door jamb connector, to this central electronics module. Now, before I got here, the parts that were already swapped were basically everything. This door lock assembly, they put a new one in. This window regulator motor, which is also called the driver's door module. I don't really know why. It's Volkswagen, okay? So this is new, the switch, there's a new switch. Here it is. So I tried that out. They swapped the controller, the central electronics module, and Keith programmed that in. And then just because when he looked on the scanner was always saying that the driver's door was locked, even though you could unlock it, you could lock it. The input was good all the way to here. There's a little switch inside of here, this middle wire, the blue, light blue and purple. It's battery voltage or ground, depending on if this thing is locked or unlocked. And that was getting all the way to the module, but the module was not seeing it and reporting a wrong, on the data PID there. So he said, put in a new central electronics module. Okay, that was done. Now, after that was done, the key fob stopped working. The passenger door switch stopped working. A whole bunch of stuff. So I basically get here and nothing's working. So I'm like, let's put in the old CEM. It wasn't erased or anything, to get most of the stuff back online. and go from there. Now, and then I could reproduce the problem. Sure enough, this button didn't work, and the trunk release didn't work. I started tracing wires. I got to the point where I'm looking at this connector and just saying, since I don't have a good diagram with the correct colors, let's just see if the wire colors match from here to here. Now I already noticed that, for example, that signal wire, it went from a light blue and purple, and it changed over to brown and green over here. I'm like, well, no big deal. It's just, a big junction connector. Wiring colors change. But looking at all the other ones, they are actually all corresponding. This side to this side. See, they all look the same. Exactly the same. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is the one that we're worried about different? And the only other discrepancy was the wire over here. See that? It's light blue and purple. And on this side, it's brown and light green. I'm like, no way. Did those two wires just get flipped around somehow? Was this thing repinned? And then the purple wires, there are like 10 purple wires here, but I tracked them again. This purple wire belongs over here, and this purple wire belongs over here. That would explain why the trunk switch, see, there's a purple wire here, but it's the wrong one. Here's another purple wire at this button. So that would explain why both of them didn't work, since they were just flipped around. So these two wires and these two wires are in the wrong spot. Okay, now, what's the history behind this? Was the harness swapped? Were the pins? And if you look at the pins, they're actually different sizes. These two here are, fatter terminals than those two on, the ones that were mixed up. So I'm like, well, it couldn't have been repinned or accidentally, it's just impossible physically. Now, this is the harness side on the vehicle. That's never been touched, I assume. But the door harness here, if you look at this tag, you can see that, this revision date, fecha, good thing you know a little Spanish, 31st January 2014. Guess when this car was made? 2012. So even the revision date, see, the revision date is past the manufacturing date of the car. I'm like, where did this harness come from? They didn't put it in. They just swapped it over from the other door. And again, I did all the bypass tests, and sure enough, if we swap these 4 wires, these 2 into here and those 2 into there, the car will work perfectly. Everything will work perfectly. So now the question is, what the heck happened? What is the history of this car? And we called the owner, and she said she just bought it last year, and it was never a concern. But considering that the key fob worked, so she could always lock her doors, and could unlock it, and there was never any real concern, except for, obviously, she probably didn't even try using this, because she was always using the key fob. And then the trunk you can open from the outside. There's a button right here, and it activates the lock. So why would you even push that button in the door? So she didn't even know there was a problem. And at the body shop, once the new door was installed, they kind of like, well, what's wrong with these door locks? Why aren't the buttons working? They thought they messed something up. But the problem was always there, and the customer didn't even know it was a problem. So this harness supposedly should fit this vehicle, even though it's a revised, updated harness. So how? Just 4 wires difference. Was it messed up in manufacturing? I mean, it's just such a bizarre problem. And obviously everything's been replaced, and these are the problems that are extremely time consuming to track down, but yet also very satisfying once you figure it out and you make it work. Yeah, that's just cool. So not much of a diagnosis video, but just had to catch that on camera, and yeah, just share that with you, and watch out for those Volkswagens. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you later. Alright guys, the proof is in the pudding. Here is the repair. So the brown and green is now connected to light blue and purple. Brown and green to light blue and purple. Right there. So those two are swapped around. Then I found the two purple wires that were crisscrossed for the trunk release and the door lock unlock switch, and then this one I accidentally cut because I was going too fast, so that's also repaired. Now, verify the repair. Here's the trunk. I'm going to push it. Boom. Sweet. Now we're going to look at our locked and unlocked data PIDs right here. I'm going to push the switch, push the locked. Locked. Now all the doors are showing locked and unlocked. Awesome. And before, the driver's door status was, kept saying locked because obviously the wrong wire, the signal wasn't making it to our electronics module. So that's it. It works beautifully. Let's just verify that it works from the key fob. Yep. And unlocked. Sweet. And last thing I want to check is, we back out of here, I want to go down to driver's door contact. That's if the doors are actually latched or unlatched. Okay. Now they're all say closed because I've been messing around with the old switch here. So if you open it manually, you just pull this lever and you open the latch here. It should say driver's door open. Awesome. And you can't lock it when the door's open. Alright, that verifies the repair. It feels good. Get this thing done. Because these guys have been really patient. And it's only 3 p.m. Sold my first car of the day. Not the most efficient, but I guess sometimes that's the way it goes. We got to the bottom of it. Alright guys, catch you next time. Bye bye.